Well, hi there, and welcome back to insidetracks.co.uk. If you like this video, then please subscribe to the channel, and you'll receive new ones when I do them. If you like it, that's fine, and comment if you think you've got something to add that will be useful to me. Now, today I'm going to look at, it says to trade or not to trade. There are certain times in the year, I tend to focus on flat. As people who follow me know, I tend to focus on flat in the winter as well, so it's all weather. But in the summer, there's the question you've got to ask yourself, when's it time to take a rain check? So I'm going to just give you some interesting data, I hope, that will give you pause for thought and also might inform your trading strategies. So I'll just pick up some stats now. So I've done a quick analysis of the horse racing after the real sort of quite heavy rain started about a week ago. And what we see is that from the 10th, the number of favourites that's winning races drops to quite low levels, 22.73, 16.07. That's slightly less than average, 31.8 to 22.73, 22.5, 26.96. And then yesterday, well, actually today, Sunday, isn't it? Today, we had a lot of winners at Doncaster that were favourites, 5 out of 7, and 3.5 out of 7. That was a joint favourite, by the way, the 0.5 at Salisbury. So that number was very, very high. And probably is a reflection that people are beginning to get wise and seeing that after a week we're beginning to look for soft ground specialists. So what you can see from this is that these numbers are very low. The overall number of winners in what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days was only 11, 16, 23, 27, 32 winners. 32 winners in a total of 6 days, which is low. And I'm just going to show you now quickly what that should really look like. So for those of you who know and have been following this channel and have looked at how favourites win, we all know by now that non-favourites, those in stakes races, the favourites win more often. On average, I mean, that's a very crude way of putting it, 42% of favourites running in stakes races win, so 4 out of 10 win, as opposed to 3 out of 10 in handicaps. And I keep missing this one out. I should correct it, really. That should say percentage, not 5. So there you go. So really, if we were running all handicaps, which isn't the case, then we should have at least 31% of the horses winning on average. If they're all stakes races, then it'd be 42. The reality is it's somewhere in between, somewhere around about 35, 36%. So that is your reference. Your reference is 35 or 36%. Well, we've just shown you 35, 36%. You're well down. So when the rain came, the soft ground came, suddenly we were seeing 25 to 1 shots, 33 to 1 shots, all coming in. And these were horses that hadn't been doing well on the good or better ground, and suddenly coming into their own on the soft to heavy ground that we had. So that is one of the reasons why it's good news to think about taking a rain check at that point. And taking a rain check, particularly if you are in the habit of looking for favourites and backing them. Favourite backers have, as you can see, have done extraordinarily badly in this 6-day period. Well, most of us have some kind of approach to races, and one of mine is back to lays, but also I tend to do naps, and they tend to be favourites. And so anyone who's been looking at my newsletters recently, I've basically taken a break, because trying to predict winners, I mean, look at Thirsk. You tried to predict a winner at Thirsk on the 11th, and you were struggling. You had one joint favourite come in, and the rest were long shots, or 6 to 1s, 10 to 1s, 12 to 1s, 15 to 1s, 80, 33 to 1s. So basically, my advice is when the going changes quite radically, and that of course happens not when it dries out, because it dries out slowly. What you're looking for is obviously when you're getting very, very heavy rain and you're seeing the going changing on a course pretty much in the space of a day. One of the tips I gave on my newsletter was for a horse that I believed was going to benefit from the rain, and the going was good to firm the morning I tipped it, but it was absolutely tipping it down at Goodwood. And by the time it was an evening meeting, by the time the horses ran, it was good to soft. And in fact, the horse that I tipped as a back to lay, in fact, won. So I think that it's very important that you take into account radical changes in going, and when you do see it, realize that this is the kind of effect. We're not talking about 36%. We're talking about often considerably lower than that, even less than half the number of winners that you would expect coming from favourites. And of course, we're also talking about, this isn't just a thing that affects favourites. This is a thing that affects, second favourites and those who have got good form. So the form goes out the window, and suddenly you start seeing these horses that have done nothing in the previous 3 runs on good ground or better, suddenly coming out and winning at big odds. It raises an opportunity for you, and what I advised in my newsletter was look out for those horses that have shown good form on soft or heavy going, and try and ignore the fact that they may well have had 0, 8, 9, 7 on their form, because that was all done on the good ground that we've been having at the beginning of this season. Ignore that, look back over the previous seasons and see where their best runs are, and if it's on soft or worse, then that's the time to start thinking about backing them at big prices. But that's a bit of a lottery and a bit of a in the air, really, for sticking pins in things. But you can do it, and you can get some good results. But my advice is take a rain check. Just say, fine, I'm going to for a few days I'm going to do something completely different. Enjoy the weather, enjoy my family or whatever it happens to be, and then come back to it when the going stabilizes. So the real message from this video is think about it if you are seeing heavy downpours and a major change in the going on flat races, then and even on the jumps, but I don't really do them, but certainly on flat races, then to trade or not to trade, my advice strongly is you will see a major dip in the number of favourites winning. You'll also see a major rise in the number of horses coming in at 33s and 25s and so on, long shots. And that is a recipe, generally speaking, for most of us who rely on some kind of strategy going into a race based on form or based on some aspect of a horse's ability to run in the last few races, that goes out the window, and we wind up with egg on our face. Thanks a lot for listening. Please subscribe to the channel. Just click the red button. Like it if you like it. Use this information to inform your trading. Hopefully it will help you to trade smarter, which is what we're all about. Comment back to me if you think it's what I've said is a bit of a baloney. I'm always open to people correcting me, advising me, giving me other information that I don't know, and for me to get better and more knowledgeable. Good luck, and I'll see you on the next one.